Welcome back to Principles of Management class. In the previous class, we just started with the selection process. So, as you've seen all the steps, so selection, the first one is a application form. They will give you application form. So you need to fill that. So the following things are usually asked. So like your demographic detail like age, gender, then your martial status, whether you are married or not, height and weight, as I told you. Usually they don't ask us height and weight, but to, some designation like frontline staffs, like a restaurant manager, hotel steward. I'm sorry, the flight stewards. They might need like a person who are quite taller, so that the customer can easy to identify. So they need maybe they need a person who are quite taller, and weight will give you some idea about whether the person are obese or not. Okay, so that is to know the health aspect. That is also the weight is also considered. Then education details is whether the educational details or qualifications is relevant to the position applied. Okay, that's very important. Then languages, again, you should be well versed in the local regional language. Plus, if it is better if you know English and Hindi and other languages is an added advantage. Again, it depends upon the position. Okay, languages, the details of the previous job means I mean where you work, whether you have any previous experience. If you have, where you worked, in which position you work, for how many years you work. So that is the information. That what is your previous salary, that's earnings, and reason for quitting your previous job. That's very important. Why you left the previous job. Okay, so usually the answer is by the candidate is for a better perspective. Okay, so they want to know the hiring company want to know whether you left the job because you have done something wrong, you have done any crime. So that is the reason they ask you. So if whatever may be the reason, you better put like a I left the job because for a better perspective. So that is the reason. So and then hobbies, usually they don't ask. Maybe for a freshers, try to put hobbies which are related to the jobs. Then salary expectations, you try to put the salary which they have given the range. Usually they mention the salary in a range, so that range you try to put. So these are the 10 things usually they will ask in the application form. Some places they may ask some other questions also, but these are very common you find in the application form. Then preliminary interview. This preliminary interview means is just an interview before the main interview. So here they this kind of interview for a one or two position, many people are applying. So they will have a preliminary interview where they ask you some general questions and try to what do you say try to reduce the people number of people. I mean shortlist the persons, and they only pick up the people who are really have the qualification and knowledge and attitude. Sometimes here they I mean here they also look at your appearance, whether you are presentable or not. As I told you, I never say you are decent, I mean like beautiful, smart, but as I told you, it's a beauty is in the beholder's eyes. I will rather use the word presentable with the proper grooming and clothing or professional clothing you are wearing. That's very important. So these two things they check, and then those who are not fit, they remove. Okay, they shortlist. They select only people who have the right qualification, and then who are presentable, who they will call for the further interview. So followed by the test. Here there are different types of tests given: aptitude, personality, intelligent test, and interest test. It is not necessary they will do test in all the areas. Again, it depends upon the job position. Say for a marketing job, so they will just check whether you have the right attitude, personality. Say for instance, what kind of personality is required for marketing is like a very outgoing personality, socializing personality. You should be very, outgoing person, little bit aggressive also is there. Then aptitude, they will again check whether you have the negotiation skills, you have good communication skills, you have interest in knowing about people in likes, what product they like, what services they like. and you have the knowledge and IQ to negotiate a deal. So these are some of the tests that is pertaining or relevant to the marketing. So as I told you, depending upon positions, the test may vary. Then employment interview, after the candidate go through successfully all the preliminary interview and test, now they will go for interview. Usually the final interview, it will be with a group of people. Sometimes it may be other types also there. So here we have given like different types of interviews. That's a one-to-one interview. Here you can see just with the head of the department, they will call you, or the manager of the department. They will interview the candidate for necessary skills and knowledges pertaining to the particular job. They will check if they are good, then they will recruit them. And panel interview. Panel interview usually consists of a group of members. The members will be from different, what do you say, from different groups. It includes like what do you say, it comprises of people from the HR department, and then people from, what do you say, the particular departmental head and top management. So it comprises of this thing. So they will have their own set of questions, from the HR, from the department, and from the top management. So they will be asking all those things. Stress interview, this is basically for the top positions which may have stressful situations. Here they will check whether the person, is able to, handle the stress. So they will ask whether they went for any, they were being stressed in the previous situations. If there is a stressful situation, how they will handle. Okay, so here the idea is to check whether the person is able to handle like a coolly with no tension or something, or the person is undergoing heavy tension or these things. So they will select people who are able to handle a situation without any tension, this kind of with a cool head and all those things. So as I told you, this is only pertaining to, this interview is only for big positions, top managers. Then situational interviews. Usually in interviews, they check the knowledge and skills, educational qualifications, but the management may not be able to know how they will handle a particular situation. Particular situation means if they are facing any problem or issues, or even it may be a opportunity they are facing. So how they will able to handle that opportunity, that is a situational interview. Are they able to face the problem properly, or handle the situation nicely, amicably, in the way the management is expecting. So they will give a situation, they will ask them how they will solve the issues. That is called a situational interview. As I told, maybe in a hotel lobby, a manager is standing there. Then suddenly, a guest who is staying in the room is coming and shouting in the lobby that there is a dead rat in this room. So you are the manager standing there. How do you handle the situation nicely? So this is a situation they give you. They will ask you how you will ask you. So you have to say that there is a set of, or like a SOP, standard operating procedure, to handle this. First, I will try to calm and convince the person, and take that guest to the back of the office, so that he don't create a negative image in the minds of the other guests who are present there. Okay, so I isolate the person. Then I try to talk some nice words, convincing that your problem is very difficult. I can understand. I will try to solve the problem, and like that. So you have to answer in a situation where you are able to handle the particular problem nicely. So that is an example of situational interview. Once the interviewer understood that you handle the situation very nicely, then the chances of their recruit you is very high. Then telephonic interview. Nowadays, telephonic interview also being replaced by Skype interviews. So this is for the people who are the candidate who are very far away, very from a very long distance from the place of the organization or interview being taken from maybe a different region or state, even from outside different country also. So what happens, and this usually for the big position, top managers and all those things. So they whatever they want to ask, they ask through the telephone or Skype interview. So different questions asked by an interviewer. Okay, so here we have given like a set of questions which are very commonly asked in the interview. I mean, I'm most sometimes they ask all of this or some of this, but if you are able to answer in the right way, okay, you'll definitely impress the interviewer and definitely will go through the interview successfully. First one, the most common and I mean most of the time asked question for almost all the positions are right, starting from this I mean right from the starting position to a big manager is this question: what are your strengths and weakness? So you can be a very honest person, but don't be, I mean, like thinking that you are too honest, you say all your strengths and weakness. My suggestion is that you just take a piece of paper, write down all your strength or your plus points, okay, and then look out for the points, the strength they need for a particular position. So try to map it. So what is your strength, whether the strength is will I mean be suitable for the particular position. Okay, I mean, I'm not saying that don't write something irrelevant, but whatever is relevant to the particular job position, you put it in the last one. Give priority to the your strengths which are relevant to your job. If you like for a marketing manager post or marketing executive post, if you say I'm very outgoing person, good in negotiating skill, that is your strength. You put that in the first place so that it is relevant to your job. Okay, so they are looking, they are not interested your strength. If a marketing position, if you say, I mean, I can draw nicely, it may not be relevant to your job. Okay, so don't try to highlight. So try to highlight your strength which is relevant to the position. Okay, if you're a very creative person, then it is required for all kind of job. You can put that in the first place. Okay, if you are like applying for a designer or something, architect or engineer, maybe drawing is an important. So if you are if you are very good talented skilled I mean art person, you can put the I mean drawing person, you can put that in the as the priority. So as I told you, first jot down all your strengths, write in a piece of paper, and then match and map with the strength required for the particular job, and then you try to highlight that one. Weakness, as I told you, you may have several weakness. To limit your weakness, better don't put any weakness. It may be a hindrance to your job. Okay, then why should we hire you? This is the most important one. It's not enough that you just say what is they asked. We are looking for people who are productive or something is not enough, but you have to give some answer which will be very unique. Okay, so if you say a very common answer, if you hire me as a teacher, I will teach students, so everyone who is hiring as a teacher will teach students, but your answer something should be very extraordinary. You can say that if you hire me, I will bring you 100% result. I ensure that even below average students will score above 60 percentage, or I will be able to score. So try to show something you are unique. My standard of teaching is more like student oriented teaching. So in this way I'm very unique. So this kind of unique things you will get for your organization if you hire me. So that kind of something very different, unique one, relevant to the job you say. So that is I mean that answer will be very appealing and will attract the interviewer. Then the next one is how do you measure success? As I told you, success is what you are before and what you are now, what you are capable of before, what you have achieved now. So that is of success. A millionaire son making another million is not a big success, but a person from a very poor background, family background, without any formal education, as graduated and as become a big manager, as a big businessman, that is a success. Okay, as I told you, what a particular person is before and what he is capable of, what he has achieved now. Okay, so if you are like in your school days, if you are like a very shy person, below average student, now if you have successfully graduated your undergraduate with the distinction, and now you are very outgoing person with the good communication skills, that is considered as be a success. So this is what you need to look genuinely into your life, and then you mention this for this question. So that will attract and appeal the interviewer. Describe a different problem you faced and solved. As I told you, this is to know your your talent to handle a situation, especially it may be a problematic situation. So you genuinely think about the problem you faced in your life or in your workplace, if you are experienced person, and then try to say this. Why? Because they are asking this question because as we have seen in the previous slides, that situational question they will ask you. Situational interview, they will give a situation, they will ask you how you will solve the particular problem or the issues or challenge facing the company or organization or department. So here they want to know in future anything happen, how, whether you have the capacity and attitude to solve the problem. So that's why they are giving this kind of questions. You can say, because if you are able to handle a problem in a nice manner and solve it in the past, so same thing you will be able to do this in your future also. So this will throw some highlight, throw some light on your talent to solve the issue. So that is what this question is for. So as I told you, what are the problem you faced in your past, you try to tell them, so how you successfully solved. So this will create a good impression in the minds of the interviewer. Then the fifth one, how would you react if you are asked to do something unethical? As I told, to try to give polite answer. You'd say that you are a person with a good morality. You will avoid being unethical. You see the benefit as a whole. Okay, so people, ethical people will not lie. But if you need to lie in a situation where you need to, where the stake of us hundreds of people at fake, what do you say, hundred of people is at stake, then to save them sometime you need to lie. That's the unethical situation. So again, there is no right or wrong answer. Only the guidelines are there. Okay, so you have to, genuine with this one. The last one is, what kind of people do you like to work with? Again, it will reflect what kind of personality you are. Okay, usually you can say that I like to work in a group. I like to work with a diverse population, people who are very creative, people who are forward thinking. So these kind of things, people who want to progress. People want to reach high standards. So these kind of people I would like to work with. So as I told you, you can also be genuine with your answers. So this kind of answers will appeal the interviewer. So medical examination. So after the candidate goes through all the steps, including preliminary interview, test, final interview, and all those things, they will be asked to go for a, what do you say? They will go for a reference check. After reference check, they will be asked to go for a medical examination. This examination to confirm that the candidate applying for the got selected for this job don't have any serious illness or medical conditions, because this will affect their productivity. So and they are fit to work. So usually they will be asked to check for their fitness in government or semi-government organizations, and then they'll be requested to bring the certificate that they are fit to work. So this way they will be able to join the duty or report to the duty. And induction is a kind of a training where the selected candidate, the new staff member, will undergo for two things: for familiarizing the surroundings, company policies, rules and regulations, and the organizational structure. So they know who is the top manager and who are the head of the departments, who are different board of directors and all those things. That's a familiarizing the organization. Second thing is integrating the candidate or the new staff member personal goal with the organizational goal. So how do they integrate? They will tell they will explain to the new staff member member or members. So what is the organization vision is about, objectives about, his mission is about, so that you know what you need to, contribute from your side in order to achieve a company goal as well as personal goal. So induction is very important. The induction usually varies from 1 day to 1 week. Okay, so usually for the top managers is usually 1 day. For the freshers or those who are from graduate, fresh graduate, it may be for 3 days to 1 week. So that's all for this topic. We will see in the next class with the training topic.